welcome. My name is Mr. Akindele Oluwole Ajibade, the CEO of AMJ Nico Agro Limited. We're here today to introduce a book and the author of the book in the person of Mr. Adeyemi Adesina, the CEO of Preston Integrated Farm Resources, who is a doyen of his time, an absolute gentleman, a great farmer, a specialist, a good trainer, and so it's going to be about the book. We're going to speak to him. We are going to the opportunity today to discuss with him about the book, and he can tell us a little bit about the book. I'm really excited. I'm really excited, and I'm sure a lot of you will be excited about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Mr. Adeyemi Adesina.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Mr. Adeyemi Adesina.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Thank you very much. My name is, as Mr. Ajibade says, my name is Adeyemi Adesina. I'm a pig farmer. I've been a pig farmer for the last 20 years. I did my first degree in animal health, and I traveled out to the country about 30 years ago. And when I was thinking of coming back home, I was thinking of what to do, and I decided I'm going to go back to farming.
Fantastic.
And that's how I ended up being a pig farmer.
Fantastic. So it's about this book, the book that I'm happy to label as the Pig Bible. It's fully loaded with a lot of information, and so just tell us what actually inspired you to write this book.
Thank you very much. Actually, when I came back to Africa, I was trying to figure out what to do. And once I home in to do pig farming, I decided to start looking at what are other people doing. So naturally, as a diaspora, I went into YouTube to see what other people are doing. And I discovered that there's a very few videos on pig farming from African perspective. So I decided, okay, so I'm going to pioneer this. As I continue to work on my farm, I'll be posting videos on the YouTube. So people behind me can see my challenges, how I overcame them, my mistakes. And later I discovered it became a sort of channel of reference for a lot of new pig farmers. So a lot of people are asking me that they want to come for training, but they cannot travel down to Africa. They are not advised that put together a book that can covers what I normally train people when they go for pig farming. So I spent 800 hours putting the book together. It took me about 2 years to write the book, and from the feedback that we got regarding the book, it has been very beneficial to as many people that have read it.
No, that's fantastic, because we've had the pleasure of reading the book. The book actually has inspired us. The information, the wealth of information, the depth of the wealth of the information in it, we found it very beneficial in the pursuit of our pig farm business. Now, a lot of people want to know, who are the sort of people that will benefit from the contents of this book?
When I was writing this book's actually for anybody that's going to pig farming, wherever you are, because it take on board how people are doing pig farming all over the world, and now adapt it to make it easy to apply wherever you are, either in Africa or in anywhere in the world. For most of the feedback that we've got are from other people from Singapore, from Philippines, from Papua New Guinea, because the same principle apply. Because one of the things we do about this book is that not only do we tell you what to do, we lay out the principle behind it. Because once you know the principle behind it, it's easier for you to implement it whenever you need to.
Right.
And that's the basis on which this book is written. So this book is written for farmers generally. But when I was writing, there are some categories of farmers that I know will even find this book more interesting. For example, if you're a new entrepreneur going into pig farming, or you're a diaspora thinking of traveling back home to start pig farming, or you've been doing a lot of business, you're a professional in your field, but you're thinking of diversifying into pig farming, this book was written with you in mind. So from the beginning, you can know. For example, there's a section of this book that focuses on strategy, which I'm sure Mr. Ajibade is going to ask me about. And not only that, this book is also written with people that are already doing pig farming. Because when I arrived in Nigeria to start my farming, I discovered that pig farming in Africa has frozen for the last 20 years. So when I started looking at what other people are doing around the world, benchmarking it, taking the ideas, adapting it into Nigeria. So in this book, for if you're a small business farmer and you want to turn your subsistence farmer into a commercial farm, when you read this book, you'll be able to understand some of the things that you are doing wrong or you're doing right, and how to take your farm from where it is to where you want to go. And finally, for youth and women that are in the rural area that are doing pig farming, if they want to improve how to improve the feed of your animal using the local material, how to beat your pen using local materials, this book takes on board. So this book literally takes on board everyone that's interested in farming, anyone that's interested in pig farming, no matter which your level is, as an entrepreneur, as an existing farmer, as a young graduate who is thinking of the, in fact, there are a lot of young people that have read this book that have developed interest in pig farming.
Yeah.
So that's what we have in mind when we're writing this book.
That's good. And from our personal experience as well, what we find in the book is not only does the book, a lot of books that are out there, and most of them are written very theoretical, but this, when you read it, the simplicity of and the way that things are explained in the book makes it a lot more enjoyable reading. But most important, the essence of the book, which is to learn, and if you apply what you've learned in the book, which is from 20 years of your experience, which we value very much, and you're able to apply it as we have been able to apply it in our business, and we've seen that from absolute novice, we're now getting to a point where, not quite as you yet, but we can say that we've got to a point where we can comfortably run the business from the startup. And even we found that even with just from reading the book, and obviously we've been to a few of your trainings, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point later on in other segments of the interview. And we'll find, you see, it's irrespective of who you are in this industry, be it someone who's a novice like we were, we came in from a completely different background, but we were interested in pig farming. And when we picked up the book actually inspired us. It made it a lot easier. And so that's where I find that a lot of people who are in the industry already will benefit from it, because we still use it as our referral. Like I said, it's the Blue Pig Bible. People that are looking to start can also use it. It's a benefit to them as well. It helps those who are just curious about piggery, and the wealth of information there, it really is. So I would say to you, it's a three-edged sword. Starter, those already existed in it, and the third, those that are curious in it. So where can we purchase this book?
You can buy this book from Amazon.com. And if you're anywhere in the world, you can get it from Amazon.com. If you're in Africa, you're interested in getting this book, there's going to be a telephone number at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
If you contact us, we will find a way of getting it to you. We've made it very easy and accessible for everybody to be able to access the book. And like you said, the way the book is written, there are a lot of, we talked about farmers when we were writing the book in terms of the way the book is designed, the text, and how the book is put together, and the pictures and the illustrations. So you can get it easily from Amazon.com, and you can get it, you can contact us wherever you are if you're struggling to get it, and we'll get the book posted to you.
Okay. Just to delve in a bit into the book as well. The book, I believe, is in sections.
That's correct.
3 primary sections.
That's correct.
So if you just highlight those sections, and just so that you give us a little snippet of it, and so that it will whet the appetite of those that will be buying the book.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dibade. The book is divided into 3 sections, and it's business sections, the operational sections, and marketing section.
So what's the business section?
Okay, for somebody who is going into pig farming for the first time, as an entrepreneur, if you're thinking of going into pig farming as a commercial pig farming, and you wanted to know, the number one thing that will bother your mind is, why should I go into pig farming? So we spend the business aspect looking at the strategic part of going into pig farming, why you should go into pig farming, what are the pitfalls that people fell into when they approach pig farming, what's the mindset of a farmer, basic things like, unlike your product profession, which you collect monies every month, when you're a farmer, you collect money by season.
Right.
And sometimes it can be 6 months, it can be 12 months. So you need to have a kind of mindset. There's a durability involved because you need to be durable to be able to go through farming. So we spend a lot of time breaking it down. We even went to breaking down the cost. So in the book you will find the cost that you're going to need, so that when you are preparing your business plan, you can see the kind of cost and cost them before you start, so that helps you in your projections. Not only that, we also look at how to source money, different kinds of way of sourcing money, and how to locate your big farm, because all those can contribute significantly. These are things that you make at the beginning that can affect how you're going to run your farm. So that's the business aspect.
Okay. And the operational aspect of it?
The operational aspect is that once you start your pig farming, you want to know how to do the day-to-day operations. So you want to look at, how do I get my pigs? Where do I get it from? What do I look at when I'm buying pigs? What kind of breeds are available? What kind of breed is suitable for my farm? Because ultimately it's your strategy that will determine what kind of pig you're going to get and what kind of market you're going to target. So in that place, we look at how to get pigs, how to transport it, because you need to transport it to your farm, the daily routine that your managers and your staff need to do regularly. We break it down. How to take care of different sector of pigs, from boar to sows to gilt, how to make them, how to take care of the winners, because each one of them require different skills. And the more you know about it, the more you can deal with the pig, and the more the pigs can give you the best of them. So it's like a symbiotic relationship.
Right, yeah.
You take care of them, they give you their best. You don't take care of them, they give you their worst. As a farmer, you want to do that's not what you want. You want to really get the best of your pig. So that's what the operational side is all about.
And the final section, which is
I know you're a man that's very much
which is the marketing aspect of it.
Because at the end of the day, yes, everything you're doing as a pig farmer, I think what's his name? I forget his name. His quote is that everything a manufacturer does, it should be aimed towards the consumer.
Absolutely.
So if you're thinking like that, I'm a pig farmer, I'm not just interested in producing pig, I'm interested in producing pork, or what people are going to eat on their tables. It now affects you. So with that, in the marketing, we started looking at what kind of markets are available. How do you add value to your pigs? Because one of the things you discover, the more value, no matter how slight you add it to your product, the more money you can make. So we try to break it down. Not only that, we try to classify the different kind of pig markets in Africa generally. So there's a people that buy it from your farm, there's a middleman. We try to help you to understand how to go around them so you can make profit at each of this sector. Then once you start, how you can, whether you want to slaughter, we talk a little bit about if you want to slaughter your pigs, what are the costs of slaughtering, what are the benefits? If you want to start packaging it into bacon, into sausages, what are the risks involved, what are the benefits? So we help you to bring it up. As from the beginning, you are very clear about what you want to achieve, and you can start working towards it.
So, as the book says, it's profitable pig farming. And no single doubt about it, anyone that purchases this book or have the opportunity to read this book will find a whole lot of ideas, benefits that will be of immense benefit to your business. I think a lot of emphasis has to be put on profitable.
Profitable, yeah.
You see, so it's not just managing the farm, it's not just setting up the farm, but if you want a business, because I think it's obvious now that if you are curious about it, you know that pig farming is a very, very viable, profitable business. So this book actually breaks it down, and it teaches you how to actually turn a business into a profitable business. Mr. Adeyemi Adesina, again, where do we get this book? We say you can get this book on Amazon. They're very affordable. It's worth every single penny. As a matter of fact, I actually think it's a way too cheap for the wealth of information. It's fantastic. So one thing as well that is also very important to mention, apart from the book, is your other area as well, which you are very, very, very passionate about, which is in the area of youth.
Yeah. Youth empowerment.
Youth empowerment, which also has a lot to do with some of this as well. So in those sort of areas, I don't know if you want to, if it's a good time to just say something briefly about it. I know it's not, but I just feel it would be ideal so that people not only are they looking at the book, but also to understand, know the author yourself, and know a little bit about your mindset, about what your goals and your desires and what you're looking to achieve, and how passionate you are. It's not just about just the cost of it is almost a giveaway for what the level of information that you get from this. So apart from the book and there are other areas as well that you're also as an individual looking to impact on kids.
Thank you very much. One of the guys, when we were writing this book, one of the things I was very. You mentioned something, as an experienced farmer for 20 years, there are a lot of factors that goes into this book that makes the book very appealing to a lot of people. Even the text. Because I know that if you're a farmer, you probably live in Africa, you probably live in a rural area, whereby in the night, you will not have enough light. So the text was bold for a purpose. The text was bold for a purpose so that you can read it easily whenever the state of the light is. Even the text, the pictures were put in there to make it fascinating. But like Mr. Dibade said, one of my greatest drive is the youth, because I believe one of the greatest challenge Africa has is not even the corruption, it's not even the environmental issue like ozone layer. I think the greatest challenge Africa has is the number of young people that are educated but are not employed. They don't have anything to do. I mean, those are, to me, when I think about Africa, I think about the number of youth that are unemployed, that are educated, and that bothers me a lot. So when I was writing this book, it's very easy for us to say young people go and do farming. But when I was writing, I want to present it in such a way that young people will pick up this book and read it and say, yes, it's something I want to consider. And to me, that was, I'm very grateful to God for a company that was a company in Imo State. They called me last year and they said they listened to my cry in terms of youth empowerment, and that they wanted to set up a youth empowerment farm in Izu. We call it Izu Farm Youth Empowerment Program. And by the grace of God, last May I was in Nigeria again to help them to launch it. It's a farm settlement that has 100 pens for 100 youths. So they've provided the housing, the accommodation, the feed, and the water, so the youth can just go there with a little payment and then be able to raise up pigs. And I believe if we are going to encourage our youth to go into farming needs to be presented to them the way it's being presented internationally. Nobody's going to go to farming if you see your father laboring and making very little out of it. But when you see it being presented this way, so if you have a young person that doesn't know what he wants to do, you can buy this book for him or her. Let him read it. I've been privileged to train a lot of young females, young men. Some of them are in my videos, papayemo1.com on YouTube, who have become interested in pig farming because of the way they've seen me doing it and the way it has been presented and some of the information here. So you're absolutely correct. One of my passions is the youth empowerment. I believe local government, state government, national government should help set up youth empowerment program. And they need a service, they can always call us. We can show them the one that we've done that have worked. And I think it needs to be scattered because there's a demand for meat, for animal protein in Africa. Our children are consuming 1/3 of what their contemporaries in the West are consuming. And we expect them to be as intelligent, as smart, as well developed. That will not happen. But it's projects like this that can not only create employment, create businesses and entrepreneurs, but also improve the animal protein availability in Africa. And then we see ourselves developing. So it's a good...
Right, viewers, you've heard the interview, you've met the man himself. The book is Profitable Pig Farming. There's a lot of wealth of information that's in there. If you like it, like the channel, subscribe, share it with your friends, visit our channel, Papayemo1. The information that you get from it and the experience that you will get from it is worth every single time that you put into it. So get this book. We bought it, we enjoyed it, we've used it, and it's worked for us. Starter, those are in business and those are curious. You will never regret getting a copy.